Hey guys! So, a scandal broke out at the finals of Miss Global 2019 pageant that took place in Oaxaca, Mexico on January 18. The woman representing Colombia, Yesenia Orozco, caused a scene on stage claiming that the pageant was rigged and confronted a man named Ramiro Gutierrez, who was introduced as a licenciado or lawyer and the producer of the entire pageant. Just to give you a little background about Miss Global, the pageant was founded in 2011 by Vietnamese-American Pham, who is based in California, and the title itself is registered in the United States. Its slogan is empowering women, embracing cultures, and embodying the beauty within. It allows a wider age range and a more diverse selection of qualified female participants between the ages of 18 to 35. More diverse means that a participant can be a single mother or divorced with children, and she does not have to reside in the country that she is representing. Contestants may also compete more than once, as long as the delegate has never been an actual Miss Global winner. Yesenia Orozco herself was born in the United States. The pageant also accepts delegates representing an ethnic community such as Aboriginal Australia or Assyria. I base my summary of the scandal on a raw video that was posted on YouTube by a fan who had attended the event. On this video, whose link is in the description box, beginning at 46 seconds, you can see the male host introducing Ramiro Gutierrez and Pham, the owner of Miss Global, to come to the stage. At 1 minute, he tells the audience in Spanish that they had just witnessed the announcement of 11 finalists, which was increased to 18 and then changed back to 11. He continued by saying that we really cannot allow this type of situation to happen, and definitely not in our home. Therefore, we are ending this event and we thank you for coming. Good night. Then he tells the audience that the owner of the Miss Global organization, Pham, who is also on stage, is fraudulent. This is when an angry Miss Colombia, Yesenia Orozco, rushed towards the front of the stage, starting at 2 minutes and 42 seconds, and interrupted Guitierrez and yelled that he is the fraud, that the contest is a fraud, unjust, that it shows a lack of respect for all the women who competed, that corruption is unacceptable. Then some of the contestants started applauding her and embracing her. At 5:44, Pham comes up on stage with a Spanish-speaking interpreter. Apparently, the tabulators screwed up big time by not adding the scores from the last 2 weeks, including interview scores, and the tabulators only based the top 10 on the final night's judging score. The computation error caused the confusion, and thus Pham decided to cancel the show. He allowed the outgoing queen to do her final walk because her family was present, although we don't actually see her do her final walk. He also said that he did not want to compromise, and thus he had to cancel the show. And even though he canceled the show, he says again that he still loves Oaxaca. Then at 7 minutes and 44 seconds, the US representative who speaks fluent Spanish apologizes to the audience for what had happened. At 8 and 18, Pham announces that because of the situation, there wouldn't be a final question round and that he would announce the top 5 right on the stage. At 8:47, he says that the finalists have to have their moment. They deserve it. They've been here for 2 weeks. We cannot walk out on them. At 9 minutes and 7 seconds, Australia is announced as 4th runner-up, followed by 3rd runner-up Philippines, 2nd runner-up Brazil, 1st runner-up Peru, and winner, Czech Republic. This has got to be the tackiest coronation that I have ever seen. Wouldn't you agree? Comment below.
Czech Republic! Nena, para tu arreglo. Ajá, sí. Tómalo de este lado. Dale vuelta para que...
As soon as she left the stage, Orozco posted these stories on her Instagram account. One story is in Spanish where she describes her experience as a disaster, but that the local people are not to be blamed for the injustice, the corruption, the lack of respect, and the lack of ethics. She also says that the sponsor forced the Miss Global organization to crown the Mexican delegate, Palmira Ruiz, and that the winner from the Czech Republic, Karolina Kokesova, is rumored to have had an intimate encounter with someone working for the organization, although it is not clear if she was referring to a staff for Miss Global organization or to a member of the Mexican hosting committee. Also, one of the coordinators left during the competition because she was disgusted by the organization. It was such a waste of time, money, and energy, Orozco wrote. The other story is in English, where she expresses her anger for being shut down during her tirade and her disappointment with how the contest was deceitful and corrupt. She writes, "We have lost essence, the value of true things that matter. We've lost respect for each other. We have a lot of humans and no humanity. Maybe I have too much hope in the world and still live in a fairy tale that this world can become a beautiful, welcoming place." Meanwhile, social media is littered with postings from several Miss Global 2019 contestants venting out their frustration, anger, and disappointment. I did a little investigation about the scandal, and I got hold of 3 directors whose names I will not mention who know Pham or who have worked with him. 2 of these directors said that Pham has a tendency to scam sponsors. He made promises to them that he rarely fulfilled. When he took his pageant to Cambodia in 2017, he failed to pay the staff of the Cambodian organizing committee. So to prevent having scandals, the hosts themselves paid the staff. He might have scammed the organizers in the Philippines as well when the country hosted the pageant in 2016. The situation in Mexico is ultimately the worst. I don't know if you guys saw a video of Miss Global 2018, Sophie Ng, that was posted on October 1st, 2019 on Miss Global's Facebook page, where she is given a VIP private tour of TV Azteca, the Mexican network that broadcasts Miss Universe. The video gave the impression that Miss Global 2019 pageant would be broadcasted by TV Azteca, when the truth of the matter is that it wasn't televised at all. Instead, it was live streamed via YouTube, but then YouTube blocked it due to copyright issue. The third director, whom I will call Maria, told me that she had communicated with Miss Global 2016, Angela Bonilla, and the outgoing Queen Sofia Ng. Angela told Maria that she was physically and verbally harassed by Mexican individuals who are associated with the hosting committee. Angela was so scared that she left Mexico before the finals. Sofia, on the other hand, told Maria that the Mexicans tried to bribe Pham to let Miss Mexico win, but Pham refused, that the tabulators, whom I presume were all working for Ramiro, screwed up big time by not adding the scores from the last 2 weeks or interview score, and that she and her family had to move to a different hotel. Finally, she said that it was a humiliating experience and that she felt robbed with the opportunity to crown her successor. I also found out that the Mexican sponsors showed up with guns to intimidate people because they felt that because they had paid for everything, Mexico had to win, and they tried to manipulate the results. Van refused to crown Miss Mexico as she is average looking, and when she did not make the top 11, that was when all hell broke loose. Pham took the earliest flight out of Mexico the following day, leaving the girls stranded in Oaxaca. He also told Maria that he is now working desperately to clean up the mess, and that the Mexican host threatened him that if Miss Mexico did not win, that bad things would happen. And a reliable source told me that Ramiro Gutierrez is actually the lover of Miss Mexico, and he bought the pageant to crown his girlfriend. Pham knew this from the very beginning, but for some reason, he ignored the sponsor. Well, could this the reason be that Pham did not find the Mexican delegate pretty enough? Or that the sponsor did not pay all the fees to host the pageant? God only knows. Meanwhile, the Mexican candidate is already contacting the American media to speak about the scandal. And there you have it, the summary of the Miss Global 2019 scandal that happened on January 18 in Oaxaca, Mexico. I am sure that there will be more stories that will surface in the next few days, so stay tuned for part 2 of the Trouble with Miss Global episode. See you then!